Welcome to Weeb Wednesday, everybody. I feel like I should be like running when this music's playing. Welcome to Weeb Wednesday, where the weebs are plentiful and the anime is fresh. This is the online anime club of your dreams, your hopes and dreams. So be sure to join the Discord to talk to other weebs and have fun, basically. This is our second Weeb Wednesday review. So our first one was Carol and Tuesday, and the second one is Cowboy Bebop. So here we are with the Cowboy Bebop Weeb Wednesday review. First of all, join the Discord. Second of all, go ahead and tell me what you guys thought. Rate Cowboy Bebop and tell me your favorite character. So go ahead and give it a vote. And I'm gonna go ahead and go over those polls in a minute. But yeah, I ended up watching Cowboy Bebop over a few weeks, so I didn't binge it fully, and I think that was the right choice. I think my problem with Carol and Tuesday was that it really wasn't supposed to be a bingeable show. Cowboy Bebop was pretty episodic from the start, with like a very vague but very important, I think, overarching story and purpose. You know, it's like, why are we following these people in particular? I think that they sort of handled that really well. That being said, I think it's a personal preference that I really don't like episodic shows, especially episodic action. Hey, buddy. You wanna come sit on my lap? This is my Ein. I think it was well done, but I will never watch it again. And let me tell you why. Like, a lot of the times, an individual episode, the majority of them I didn't like. I didn't like the 20 minutes I spent watching it. It was kind of like not really all over the place, but either the storyline was weird or boring or confusing. Usually in a show that's not episodic, it's just overall, like, you watch it all in a row, it's a huge story and you either liked it or you didn't, and there's like definitely certain parts that did better than others. This one had some really strong episodes and some, I think, really forgettable episodes. But then overall, I think it was a good show. I just think it wasn't for me. I understand why people really love this show. And I think that there is so much that was good about it and notable about it, especially because it was from the 1990s. So you have to like give credit where credit's due, and like definitely see, like, something I really liked was how much representation there was. Like, a woman's talking about her wife or her girlfriend, and like, she didn't need to be gay, but they made her gay, and I'm like, yay! You know, like, it had nothing to do with the story, she just was. I was like, great. The character designs were freaking awesome. You know, we'd see a character for 20 minutes in an episode, or like even just a few scenes or one scene, and they're like fully fleshed out. There was one in an episode called, and this was one of my favorite episodes, Heavy Metal Queen. It was episode 7. First of all, the Heavy Metal Queen herself was such a great design. I thought she looked so cool. In that episode, they were showing like the interiors of some of the ships, and they were like all fleshed out, like they're all like coolly decorated and everything, and it just like showed that like a lot of thought went into like the world building and character design, and just like the things that could have been throwaways and could have been done really lazily. It was like really awesome. But I think there was a lot of episodes that were not good. Either they were boring, confusing, or just like weird. Like, can we talk about, I know that a lot of people said that they don't like Boogie Woogie Feng Shui. So that was when Jet finds this guy's daughter who's like the expert in Feng Shui, and they like have to go to, and we're just like, oh my god, what is going on right now? That was like such a sucky episode, and it was so late in the season that you already like cared a lot about the main characters, and you were like, why are we following this storyline right now? Heavy Metal Queen got me kind of into it a little bit, which was kind of interesting. And then Waltz for Venus was after that. So that's the one with the guy Rocco, and he was so annoying. I swear to God. Cowboy Funk, I think, was my favorite episode, definitely comedy-wise, if not overall. Cowboy Funk was episode 22 with the Teddy Bomber and Cowboy Andy. I think that was the most enjoyable time I had watching the series. And then the other episodes I ended up really liking were the ones that helped us connect with the main cast. So anything, I loved Edward's introduction. I loved all of Faye's background episodes, which is weird for me. I usually don't really like like background, like, ooh, we're gonna go back and see what, like, I think that they handled Faye's story really well. And I think Faye as a character is actually so prime. I watched like a few at a time. I didn't fully binge. I didn't watch one a week. I watched like a few at a time. And I think that was the right choice. I tried to like specifically sit down and enjoy the episode and not try to like make it more than it was supposed to be, I guess. I'm so happy that I watched it and that I finished it, because I think like the end episodes are really, really strong and just really tie it together. And it's like, well, that was episodic, but actually like that was like a whole journey. Dropping it after a few episodes, I think is the wrong choice. I think you should finish it. And something we were talking about in the Discord, which was fun, is that like, you know, we're following these space cowboys and each episode is like a new adventure, but you sort of like in your mind fill in the gaps in between, you know, like you can imagine them just hanging out on the ship or just like doing random things or just chilling, and like then the next episode is their next adventure. But it was kind of nice to see them grow as like a family without them like talking about it. So we're gonna talk about the ending. The show did not make me cry. I didn't cry, but I definitely liked it. Like I loved the ending. I don't think the end sucked at all. I think the end was awesome. I think the end was perfect, and I think it was very telling of the whole journey. Why I liked the ending was because it was like a really perfect showcase of what Spike is as a person. First of all, what do you guys think "you're gonna carry that weight" means? What do you think? Because I think it's like a really impactful statement to like punch. That's like the last thing you see. How the weight of the past never allowed him to live in the present and care about the future. You're gonna carry that weight. I like that. You're gonna deal with the consequences of all your actions. You either have to carry that or give up like Spike. I really like that. Something that somebody said was that Spike was like, yeah, Spike is like a walking corpse essentially through the whole show. He's suicidal, he's depressed, and he is just a walking corpse. And so they never open up, they never talk. I don't think he's cool. And I think that's where I think that people are wrong for liking him. If you think he's like badass and cool and whatever, I don't think that's right. That's not how I see Spike at all. I think that he's sad. Like Spike is very, very, very sad. He's like a sad dude to me. That's like, and like that's where I think that the ending was so perfect, and I can see why people would hate the ending if they don't think that Spike is that way. So Jeff, Faye, and Spike, I think all failed each other, but in a really realistic way. They could have talked, you know? They could have opened up. They could have helped each other with some really intense, personal, deep problems, but none of them were good at it. Like all of them had these problems, and they just chose to like deal with them in silence and sort of like band-aid over the situation by being happy that they have company, but never like really delving into their issues. So when it comes to the end here, you know, Spike's going off to die essentially, and Faye, you know, tries to reach out, and it's just too late. It's just too late, and I'm like, damn, like this is good because it's real. And so they're all these like badass cowboys, but really they're all just sad. Yeah, Faye is I think a really, really good character. You can see she's on her path to growth because she's like figuring her things out, but it's just like, it's almost just like it's just too late. I really liked that we got to see the reunion of Spike and Julia, and then the one shot where Julia is shot and she's like falling and the doves are flying. That was so good. So like Julia dies and Spike is, any semblance, any hope is just gone, you know, and you know, he's not getting out of that alive, and it was really beautiful. And it's true, all they had to do was talk to each other. All they had to do was, you know, bear their emotional feelings and talk about it. But goddamn, if that isn't really hard. And I think that the art and everything was chef's kiss. And I really love how it was animated. It was gorgeous, and I didn't expect that. It seemed very high budget. There was no like ugly frames, or you know how like in Death Note or something. Death Note is ugly. They're like derpy in the background and stuff like that. It's just like not great. The animation isn't good, but I was like, damn, Bebop looks good. So I ended up watching a little bit of sub and a little bit of dub. I ended up liking the sub more. I heard a lot of good things about the dub. So I started with the sub, I turned on the dub for a few episodes, and then I turned it back off and finished it with sub. The reason why I didn't like it dubbed was I think that a lot of the dialogue felt more cheesy and corny in English. Like hearing it in like my mother tongue just felt corny rather than like reading it and hearing it in Japanese. I was like, okay. I think the actual voice actors themselves were awesome, like very good. I think their voices were very fitting. Ben hated Edward's English voice actress. I liked her a lot, but I thought the voices were good. I thought the voice actors in Japanese were awesome as well. Oh, did you guys like the episode, the Perrault Le Fou? The one with the crazy like penguin looking guy? Yeah, the twist makes it really sad. I think that was the one where I like almost cried. I hated Mushroom Samba. I hated Toys in the Attic. I don't know. I don't like any of those episodes. Jen and Spike, I think, are a very good duo, but they very clearly are bad at talking about their feelings. Again, like all the main characters. And Edward is somebody like you can't talk about your feelings with Edward because Edward is like... And I loved her episodes so much. Anytime she was in it, I was like... immediately put in a better mood. Her leaving, that episode where she left, you know, you got that really good line from Spike like many episodes before that was like, I hate kids and I hate dogs and I hate women with attitudes and how are all three on my ship? And I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. But you know, you could tell that when they were leaving, he got sad. Did anybody else realize that the sound mixing in Cowboy Bebop was like a little iffy? Like sometimes it would just get really loud out of nowhere. Other than that, I thought like the sound design and everything was really awesome. There was in Toys in the Attic, there was a binaural moment, and I can't remember what it was exactly, but I had headphones on while I was watching it, and it was like going just ear to ear, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I think the jazz and the lack of music in really intense parts or fighting scenes was awesome. The outro song was a banger, but always really loud. It was like the episode would end and I'm like, oh Jesus. So basically to wrap it up, I gave Cowboy Bebop a personal rating of 7.5 out of 10. I think that rating is a little low, but I also can't in my heart give it a higher rating compared to other anime that I've given 8s to. And that's definitely my personal rating. I understand why people give it a 10. I'll say that. But let's talk about your guys' ratings. So your guys' ratings for Cowboy Bebop. The results. 79 votes for 10. Perfect anime. Nothing wrong with it. Masterpiece. 45 votes for 9. 25 votes for 8. 19 votes for 7. Here's the thing is that most people agree it was a good anime. So you can see it goes from 10, 9, 8, 7. I don't think I would ever watch it again, but I think that I walked away from it generally with very good feelings. Like I was like, oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop, that was nice. And like if I saw the characters, I'd be like, oh, Spike, Faye, Ed, I love you guys. You know, like, oh, favorite character. And Spike wins, which I find extremely interesting. Tell me why you guys like Spike. Why do you like Spike? So we have 70 votes for Spike, with 37% of people like Spike the best. Edward coming in second, Faye coming in third. The dog beating out Jet. I think I picked Edward as my favorite character, but I think Faye was right there. Faye is an awesome character. First of all, she has amnesia. So as she figures things out about herself, like she changes as a person, like it's definitely interesting. Yeah, there was definitely some sexist undertones, I'd agree. But at least she was strong, you know? Obviously, I think like the 90s aesthetic with like the literal like individual boob, like on each, I'm like, all right, relax. I think that there was a lot of different character designs and different women, like strong women character in the show that like it didn't bother me as much as it might usually. I loved the episode where she's looking for the dragon tattoo and he's like, I just really like eels. We've given our rating. I gave it a 7.5. Most of you gave it over a 9 or above. So I think this was a success. The next anime we are watching is Beastars. If you guys didn't already know, I've talked about it multiple times already. Beastars just came out on Netflix. It is a 12-episode show. It is very interestingly animated. Don't let it throw you off. I really like it. Depending on how old you are, approach with caution. There are definitely like some sexual themes in it. So go ahead and check out Beastars. It's on Netflix. This is gonna be our anime that we talk about on April 1st. I'm very excited to talk about it with you guys. Very excited to see if you guys like it. And I'm gonna give you a bonus show this time around because it's only a 12-episode anime. Your bonus isn't an anime, it is an American animated show, Castlevania. This show is the bee's knees. I already finished season 3. I would love to talk about it with you guys if you're interested. It's also on Netflix, so if you finish Beastars and you want something else to watch, highly recommend you watch Castlevania. That's gonna be our bonus one because there is 3 seasons of it. The first season is only 4 episodes, so it's basically like a little prologue. And then season 2 and season 3 are about, I think they're 10 episodes each maybe. But go ahead and check out Castlevania. If you need something extra to watch, we can talk about that next time. So go ahead and watch Beastars. That is your official Weeb Wednesday assignment for the next 2 weeks. And if you feel like it, add on Castlevania, we can talk about that as well. I did start an Annie list, so go ahead and you can start that. I'll post it in the Discord. Join the Discord to talk more about Cowboy Bebop if you'd like, but we're gonna go ahead and start the Beastars room now because, you know, anime doesn't wait for anybody. It doesn't wait for you, it doesn't wait for me. So we gotta keep going, we gotta keep chugging along here. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next Weeb Wednesday. So long, Space Cowboy.